Are you ready for a conversation? You didn't give me shoes. Whee! Conversations! Welcome to this conversation. I'm Eric.
I'm Katie.
I'm Barney!
Yay! It's not what he sounds like at all.
No, it does not. I apologize. My voice talents are not perfection. Also, I don't know really anybody that can do Barney's voice really well. Let's be real.
That's not what I've heard people cycle through and like.
No, usually you hear, "Have you heard my Mickey Mouse impression?" And I'm like, stop. And you know what I'm talking about, which is why you're laughing. Guess what this topic's gonna be about today?
I'm gonna go out on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please stop. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And say Barney.
No, we're talking about Barney trademark. Barney is 30 years old this year. As of, I believe it was August, it was his actual 30th birthday. We're a little late in the game. It's still the year.
2018's been a garbage fire anyway. Does it really matter?
You know. Today we're going to do a little bit of discussion about the history of Barney and where 30 years has taken this weird purple dinosaur friend. I know at some point in both of our lives, we each had some sort of a Barney plush.
Yep.
This is not either one of those. Nope. I found this at a thrift store and I was like, mine. Also, this is like proportion-wise, this is, I think, the best one I've seen in quite some time. Some of them are fatter.
I remember mine being large, but I don't know if that's because I was small.
Yeah. I mean, they came in all different sizes and different kinds. But mine's just right for me. The concept of Barney was developed in 1987 by Cheryl Leach of Dallas, Texas. She was developing an educational show that would also entertain her son.
The Lions Group was formed in 1988 as a division of Developmental Learning Materials, Inc., which was an educational company owned by Cheryl's father-in-law, Richard Leach. Cheryl partnered with Kathy Parker and Dennis DeShazer in creating the Lions Group. The company produced and distributed straight-to-video releases of the series entitled Barney and the Backyard Gang.
The series of videos was developed and released from 1988 to 1991. The show featured a cast of children including Michael, his sister Amy, Tina and her sister Lucy, Jason, and Adam. Other children would eventually join the Backyard Gang, including Derek and Jeffrey. Did you ever watch any of those original Barney and the Backyard Gang videos?
The thing is, I don't know what I have or have not watched. It's all just a mishmash.
Big purple blur.
Yeah, I don't know, because my own experiences with it, a lot of them were VHSs borrowed from the library or VHSs that I owned. It has no bearing on when I was watching it. Mm-hmm. You know, when a video was released and when you watched it could be completely separate.
Well, yeah,
I have
absolutely.
no idea. I don't remember any of the kids' names.
Oh, I do.
Like at all.
I could tell you I remember distinctly watching the Backyard Gang videos, and I remember watching the Backyard Show being the first one, which is where they put on a show for Michael and Amy's dad for his birthday. Guess where Eric is today? Guess what inspired Eric from the very beginning? Here we are. Yeah, I watched all of them as a kid. I loved all of them, and then there were developmental things that happened when it transitioned to PBS. In the first 3 videos, Sandy Duncan was featured as Michael and Amy's mother. Do you know who Sandy Duncan is?
The name is familiar.
She is a famous performer and actress. But the real question is, who is Barney? It's him. So Barney is an anthropomorphic purple and green Tyrannosaurus Rex. He is brought to life through the imagination of the children around him. Throughout the series, Barney educates the children and engages them in various activities, including role-playing and exercising. Barney was originally voiced by Bob West. He went through several voice transitions from the beginning of the Backyard Gang videos all the way up through what it is currently. Do you know what Barney's favorite food is?
I don't.
Because his favorite food is peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a glass of milk. Because people are weird, like...
That's not weird.
Milk.
Just because your body can't digest it doesn't mean no one else enjoys it.
Well, the problem was that if he ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the peanut butter would stick to his mouth, and then he couldn't open it, but then he was able to open it to drink milk, so I don't know.
I don't know why you're questioning it. That's standard logic.
But how does a dinosaur hold that stuff up to his mouth? Can he make it?
That's what you're questioning?
I'm just kidding.
That's where you're drawing the line?
He can't make a sandwich, can't even reach the table. He has to be like, do, 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 do. Maybe he makes it and just like does like a flip with his leg. He goes, "Pwah! Whoa!"
I'm gonna take that away from you for a little.
The series of backyard gang videos include The Backyard Show, 3 Wishes, A Day at the Beach, Waiting for Santa, Campfire Sing-Along, Barney Goes to School, Barney in Concert, and Rock with Barney. The show was a regional success but had not really been discovered by the remainder of the country.
In 1991, the head of Connecticut Public Television, Larry Rifkin, rented a Barney VHS for his daughter, Leora. He thought the concept and execution were great and asked Cheryl if she would be interested in putting Barney on PBS. A revamped version of the show, titled Barney and Friends, debuted in 1992, changing the world of preschool television. Dinosaurs were introduced throughout the run of the show, including fan favorites Baby Bop, BJ, and Riff. With an array of children and prehistoric characters, the show also featured a variety of adult characters, including Mother Goose, who brings stories and nursery rhymes to life for the children, Stella the storyteller, telling cultural stories from around the world, Professor Tinkerput, a toy inventor from Imagination Island that learns to share his creations, Mr. Boyd, a janitor and a park keeper throughout the series, and even some special appearances by acclaimed author Tommy DePaola. Stregonona.
Yes, Tommy DePaola wrote Stregonona. Tommy DePaola was, I think, in 3 episodes of Barney, and that's how I know who he is, because I recognized him from that, and then connected the name with the book and the artwork, and then saw the books in the library, and like that's how that connection.
See, yeah, I had Stregonona.
That was weird because
one.
that was one of the first times I saw an author before recognizing their books and material. So that was the first time I think I connected a face to a book.
Okay.
The show also experimented with incorporating puppet segments from seasons 4 through 6. These characters included Scooter McNutty, Miss Etiquette, and Booker T. Bookworm. Notable celebrities that got their start from the television series include Selena Gomez, Madison Pettis, Debbie Ryan, Danielle Vega, and Demi Lovato.
In 1993, Barney's hide-and-seek game premiered on Sega Genesis.
I remember, and my family will hear that title and go, oh my god, I remember that game. There was a video rental store. I don't think they really exist anymore. Up when I was living in New York as a kid, and we went there, and they had different video games and stuff, and we had a Sega Genesis. And one of the games that they had was Barney Hide and Seek, and I saw it and was like, I have to play this game! It was that and Sonic. Those were really the only 2 games that I played. So we got it and came home, and it was like the kids were hiding behind the bush and you were playing as Barney, and you had to like find the kids.
Ooh. I don't know who approved that.
I enjoyed it. I had fun for about 10 minutes.
I'm ready for the horror version.
Well, that's awkward. In 1994, Barney's Imagination Island premiered as a special featuring Barry Pearl as Professor Tinkerput. 1994 marked another milestone for the series. The show received a live stage adaptation that was produced at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. What an original title.
Descriptive.
Getting straight to the point. Barney, where are you going?
In 1998, Barney received a theatrical feature film, Barney's Big Adventure. The film starred Trevor Morgan and Kyla Pratt and featured a wide variety of guest appearances, including George Hearn.
The movie follows a group of children visiting their grandparents when Barney shows up and sweeps them off on a chase for a special egg. This was a very weird movie. It was interesting because the tone was, some of it was more serious than I've seen for this show ever.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know who George Hearn is, let me enlighten you with a little clip.
He'll never come again.
I keep telling you.
When? Why do I wait? You told me to wait.
That's right, George Hurd performed with Angela Lansbury in Sweeney Todd in the role of Sweeney Todd. The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Yay.
So my mom was not a fan, but I was watching it. I became a fan of it without any say from her. Whereas by the time my sister came around, Mom had figured out how to keep her from finding out about it. So Olivia
That's funny.
missed most of that. We just swerved right around it.
My mom enjoyed safe preschool television, so we had a lot of like Disney, Mickey, and the Gang sing-along tapes, and we had, of course, the Disney sing-alongs on VHSs.
Oh, yeah.
Barney was on that list, Shining Time Station. Basically, all of PBS was fair game.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of Nickelodeon, a little bit of Disney Channel. But yeah, Barney was near the top of the list, and I feel...
Oh, my sister also always wanted to be a bigger kid than she was, like... If you said, like, oh, that's for babies, like, she immediately jumped off. So, like, Mom was like, Barney's for babies. And she was like, oh, nope, not interested. It's fascinating how they went through this cultural shift of, like, for a while it was cool to like Barney, and then it was cool to be, like, anti-Barney.
Yeah.
Like, and you have things,
weird.
like, where people took the original theme song and rewrote it to be far more violent lyrics. And how, pre-internet, how did everyone know that song?
Yeah.
How did that
get along?
move from, like, state to... And I've heard a couple of variations on it, but they're pretty minor variations.
Yeah.
And we weren't all clever enough to have come up with the song. Like, how that managed to spread is fascinating to me.
Good question. It's no surprise that... Calm down. It's no surprise that Eric really hadn't, and still hasn't, grown up from children's television programming.
Nope.
It is embedded within him and will be with him forever.
Why are you talking in third person?
Because I'm here, I'm talking. At a time when I would have transitioned out of this and all of these other programs, my mom decided to have a home daycare, so then the VHSs were brought out. And I had a younger brother that I was 9 years older than, so the cycle started over, so I was just accustomed to having these things. So whenever I become a parent or a teacher, like, I am well-versed in the children's preschool television programming and know what they're all going to watch.
From 20 years ago.
From 20 years ago. It's still relevant.
Yeah.
It still works.
1998 also launched the first national tour for the Purple Dinosaur and His Friends. The tour played 60 cities and featured 28 songs. The stage production saw the return of Professor Tinkerput and featured appearances by Mother Goose and Old King Cole.
I've heard he's a merry old soul.
In 2001, the Lions Group and Lyric Company were purchased by Hit Entertainment and folded into the company. The show would continue to run and air through 2009. Throughout the show's incredible 13-season run, 248 episodes were produced featuring over 100 children interacting with Barney. Bird outside. Sorry, I heard the chirp, and I was like...
Kookaburra sits in the oak tree, Mary, Mary, I'm done. Sun keeps going behind clouds. I don't know what it means. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Sun, shine out on me. Barney's not violent. I'm sure it's in his contract.
He makes people violent.
If he was in Ant-Man, he would have had a clause in his contract that says Barney doesn't hurt people.
He doesn't.
Barney is a nice train.
Barney is.
When adults say they do not like Barney, producer of the show Jerry Franklin quoted, "In a way, we take that as a compliment. Barney is not designed for parents, whereas Sesame Street is designed for parents and children. We made a conscious decision to make Barney simple. It is not a program for parents. Barney relates to preschoolers. We think that he speaks to them at their level, which is in simple terms and with music. Barney has been seen in video games, on television, in movie theaters, on stage, in meet and greets, on soundtracks, and so much more. Barney, in 30 years, has made a huge impact. You have had him as a special guest at your birthday parties.
Yes.
As in, like, the birthday party was themed to Barney.
Yes,
Barney did not show up to her birthday.
My third birthday was Barney themed, and the cake had blue frosting, and it turned every person's mouth blue to everyone's complete and total amusement.
Did everyone go,
Just about. I had Barney and BJ plushes, and then I had a baby bop that talked to my mother's complete consternation. Like, Of all
job, big word.
and of
High
any
five.
of the
Or high two, yeah.
of any of the characters that I could have gotten as a talking toy, it was the one that annoyed her the most.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you won that was Barney related?
After I had my third birthday, so my third birthday cake had a topper that was musical that you like turned on and played, and I kept that. We cleaned all of the frosting off of it, and it stayed in my bucket of toys, or my basket, and definitely sounded different as the batteries died, which was the best. I had some of the VHSs. I know the one that I had that I remember the most clearly. I have no idea which one it was or what it was called, but it was in a fairy tale setting, and Skip to My Lou was in it, and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, I don't remember enough about it to be able to track it down. My mom was not a fan of Barney, so we phased out of it as quickly. She phased it out as quickly as she could. She couldn't take it from my cold dead hands at one point. So it was the second I started like gaining interest in other things, she just supported those other interests until Barney kind of like phased out. I texted her today and I said, "Do you happen to know what happened to my Barney plushes?" And she said, "If you don't have them, they went to a thrift store." So maybe this is just coming full. It's not. This isn't him. He was purplier and he was fuzzier. I think he was a darker shade and like more of a like
Felty texture.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Barney, the giant dinosaur, is about this texture.
Yeah.
I know I had clothes. I know for a fact I had clothes that I wore that were Barney. I definitely had plushes. But there was a decent amount of merchandise, but I know I didn't own a lot of it.
Yeah.
A surprise. The most amount of toys I owned were trains of a specific brand and variety.
No, any clothing that I had that was branded was Disney.
That also makes sense. I had
lot of Pocahontas and Lion King, like all the way.
Well, and then thinking about it, did they make? I don't remember. So they might have. Mm-hmm. But did they make female Barney clothes at that time?
Not off the top of my head.
I'm going to bring up...
Also, how aware was I? Like...
Also, yes. But I'm going to bring up now an interesting point is...
I'm going to look it up.
Gendering of Barney. Literally, this character is male because his name is Barney. But I think this is one of those weird preschool shows that... it was not geared towards one gender or the other. Everyone knew about this dinosaur and everyone had distinct opinions. Most of them were, especially as kids, most of them were great.
But I might have had Barney shoes. I'm looking at these and I'm thinking I might have had Barney shoes.
I think I had Barney shoes and I think I had Thomas shoes at one point. No, I definitely had Thomas shoes at one point because I know they were in pictures.
I think that shoes are the funny thing. Like I didn't remember them until I looked at them and I was like, oh my god, like those Velcro shoes.
Yep.
Barney can currently be seen at Universal Orlando Resort at Universal Studios Florida in A Day in the Park with Barney, which features a live stage show, meet and greets, an interactive playground, and a specialty Barney store.
Have you seen the Barney show at Universal since we're 10 minutes away?
No.
I have.
Genuinely have not.
First of all, it was on my list because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it since I was 5 when we first came to Orlando.
I work for Disney and I hadn't seen Flights of Wonder since I was a kid and then it closed.
Yeah, I saw that once. So knowing that, the fact that this is still at the park, first of all, is an astonishing fact.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that it's still there with how much change Universal is going through.
Yeah.
Constantly. And the fact that the show's not really on TV anymore. It's weird that it's still there. I am okay with it because it's such a nice area. It's such a pretty, well-crafted stage area. It's a very nice... The playground that's there is really nice. If you're there early in the morning, the characters will do meet and greets outside. Sometimes it's just Barney, and sometimes it's all 3 of the characters. So we went over there, and I had a hat on, and BJ was like, "Oh my God, your hat's really cool." He didn't say that to me.
Really?
But he definitely noticed my cool hat. So then during the show, like, he came out on stage and then walked by and stopped and pointed at his hat and pointed at me. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm part of the cool dinosaur club. It was weird because...
You're the only person I know that could pull off saying that, though.
It was really weird watching the show because there were some kids, but
Yeah.
Most of the people there were adults in that audience. And I was like, oh, this is different and unexpected. That was not what I was...
They were going for a nostalgia trip?
I don't know, or maybe they knew people that were performing. I don't know. I had a great time, and I got my picture with Barney, which I don't know if I ever got one with Barney as a kid when we went to Universal the first time. And I got real excited when he was out there. I was like, let's go. I'd go see it again with a group of people. If it like me, you, Irene, Patricia, like a big Jessa, Charlie.
Turn it into a drinking game?
What, buy alcohol and go into Barney? I feel like that's blasphemy.
Yeah, no, I'm in. Let's go.
And do what? What is the drinking game?
Well, you'd have to figure out a phrase that he says regularly in it.
I'm pretty sure he mixes up all of his random phrases. I don't think he says them more than once or twice.
We'd figure it out.
Okay. I think we should all cosplay Barney characters. And by Barney characters, I mean all three of them. Because there's only 3 of them.
Or you know what you do? Is everybody goes dressed in their 90s attire with like scrunchy side ponies.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Do a
that'd be so much fun.
90s group. That's what you do.
That'd be fun. This year, Katie and I were walking around Target, and I turned a corner to an end cap. I turned a corner and saw an end cap and went, Katie, get over here right now! And she was like, what the heck is he doing? So she turned the corner and I pointed, and the entire end cap was all Barney. And I was excited because I was like, whoa, but also,
where did they find this?
A lot of this stuff, when was this? This was during the summer, right?
Yeah.
Every Target must have been cleaning out like back warehouses from like the 90s, because there was a lot of Barney stuff. There was stuff that they hadn't seen ever. And stuff that was like this show, other merchandise. I don't even remember.
And it wasn't like nostalgia branding.
No,
like,
it was like
the original packaging.
I was like, where did this come from? The show's not on TV anymore. Why is this here? Yeah. But whatever. It was.
You got excited.
I got real excited. I was just like, this is just so random.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that after 30 years, even though the show may not be on the air anymore, everyone, even the toddlers, still know who Barney is and still know of his presence in the world. Throughout the years on the Barney television series, there have been reoccurrences of various cast members. Some of them have even come back for various episodes and specials to remember the times that they had with Barney when they were younger.
Barney's always been full of surprises.
That's right.
Look, we're friends. I'm so glad you could come to my sing-along. Hi. Oh, it's good to see you. Everybody, I'd like you to meet 3 friends I've known for a long, long time. Tasha, Michael, and Kathy.
Hi.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, you've really grown since then. Barney, you've been a very special friend to us for a long time.
Yeah, remember when I was learning to play the cello? I wasn't doing so well, but you were always there to help me out.
And when I first came to school, you made sure I met everyone. Remember?
I sure do.
No matter what, we could always count on you. The treehouse really looks cool.
I'm glad you like it.
Thanks for inviting us. We thought you'd be surprised to see. Your friend's Jason. And man, that's me.
Goody! We're friends! Boy, hi there! Oh, boy. Oh, Tasha, do you still have those pictures? We were looking at these earlier. And look! Here are some pictures of you when you were in school.
Wow, we've known Barney so long, he can probably guess what song we want to sing before we tell him.
Over the last 30 years, a lot of people have been influenced and worked with Barney very closely. So we thought we'd talk to a couple of Barney's friends and see what their thoughts were.
Hi, I'm Barry Pearl. In 1994, I was asked to come down to Texas, Dallas, Texas, to play the role of Professor Tinkerput in Bedtime with Barney, Imagination Island. And we shot at the studios of Las Colinas. It was an amazing time. It turned out to be a life changer for me. I had probably the best time in front of the camera that I'd ever had. Director Jim Rowley was the best to work for, just a terrific man, big heart, and the entire organization was tremendous. And all the kids and David Joyner, who played Barney, turned out to be just a delight to work with. And 2 years later, I was asked to join the international tour of Barney's Big Surprise, which is on video, as is Bedtime with Barney, Imagination Island. And we took this show all over the world, played the United States and Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and that tour wound up allowing me to purchase a house, so I'm living in the house that Barney built. So Barney had a great impact, and to this day, I mean, here's my Barney watch. Well, it's upside down or side, there it is. Can you see it? There's my Barney watch. I wear it as an homage to Barney and the entire organization. So let me just leave you with, I love you, you love me. We're a great big happy family.
It's so great to hear that the show positively influenced all the people that were involved. All of these people had an interest in the character and the franchise and were so proud of what the franchise had become and what the character had become and what the characters all and the children and the adults all meant to all of the audience that was watching it.
It's had such a lasting impact in a way that not all of the children's TV shows from that era have had.
How many preschool shows do you know did a live stage show in New York City? Like, how random is that? Also, I'm going to point out with that one, when I first went to New York City, we were going for a day trip for an event for a family member, and we were on a bus, and we drove by Radio City Music Hall, and I went, Barney! And my mom goes, no? And I was like, Barney! And she did not understand that was... I recognized the Radio City Music Hall's logo because that was coming up on PBS in between every single commercial break when they were trying to beg people for money and donations. And that was the logo that they put up. It was like Barney animated and then the Radio City Music Hall marquee. So yeah, that's what I recognized immediately. It's safe to say that Barney over the last 30 years has had a major impact on preschool television and educational programming, and has definitely left an impact and an impression on the audiences that have watched him over
an entire generation.
Yeah. Tons of thousands of kids, millions of kids know who Barney is and appreciate him. And it's safe to say they love him, and he loves them too. So thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed celebrating Barney's 30th anniversary with us. Be sure to like this video.
Share this video.
Subscribe to our channel.
Use the notifications button.
Like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram.
And remember to support us on Patreon. With your donations, we can produce wonderful, exciting new content. And we have special videos and behind-the-scenes footage that are available exclusively to our Patreon donors. And in order to make further videos, we need your money, please! Thank you so much!
And remember, I love you.